So, because there are a lot of different relationships happening right now.
Oh, Lord Jesus. What's up, everybody? I'm Jackie Ray.
And I'm Raiven French.
And this is We Gotta Talk About This.
This is our show. Welcome if this is your first time here. Welcome back if you've already been here before. And thank you for coming back. This show, Jackie and I have been friends for what? Over a decade.
Over a decade.
And we have a lot of great conversation about a lot of great topics because, fun fact, we don't agree on most things, but we do respect each other's opinions usually and can see where the other person is coming from.
All the time, yeah.
Right. So it brings perspective. And we wanted to bring that perspective to you on topics that we feel we gotta talk about. So if you were here last week, you already know that we ask a question of each other just so you guys can get to know us. And so now it's my turn to ask Jackie a question, which is kind of a series of 3 questions, but they're quick and it will really help us get to know Jackie. So Jackie, are you ready?
I'm a little nervous, but yes.
I love this game.
I'm ready.
I got this game from another friend.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
Purple.
And why?
It's regal and it reminds me of Prince.
Okay. What is your favorite animal and why?
Oh, a Black Panther. Because Black Panther.
Okay. Any specific?
I like a Black Panther because I think it's gorgeous. I think it's powerful. It's kind of mystic in a way. And it just symbolizes power.
Okay. And what is this one is a little tricky for people sometimes. Favorite body of water and why? Like ocean, river, lake. You know.
I like rivers with high rapids because I think I used to love to whitewater raft, and whitewater rafting is really fun. Plus, I know that motion helps clean the water, and that's how you can get, like, if you're ever in a situation and you're in the forest, if you can find a river that has flowing water, you can get clean water. So it just represents nature and cleanliness and being one with the universe to me.
Okay, people. Well, in this game, your favorite color is how you see yourself. She sees herself regal and like Prince. So artistic and all of those things. The second question about the animal is how you like your man.
Yes, that's accurate.
So hers is the Black Panther. So there you go. And the third is how you like sex. Rapid.
Jesus, that is not wrong. I ain't trying to be here all damn day. Get to the point. Get it wet. Get it rapid. Let's get it.
Let it out.
Yes. I'm trying to lay here in this filth. We got to get up and take a shower together, and we can repeat if you want. But we ain't just finna just lay here in this mess. So, Clean it up. I hate how accurate this is.
Right? I got this from another friend. And so that was really accurate. When you were saying why.
That's where you're like, Okay. Well, now y'all know all my business.
Yes. That was great. That was a great way to get to know you.
I love it. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're talking about, I've come to this place in dating. I haven't been in a relationship since we're in 2024.
Yes.
2023. Since the end of 2022. And that was a 5-year relationship. And before that, it was long distance, really long distance. And before even dating him, it had been over a decade of having been in a relationship. That's LA for you. Because you're out here, you're hustling, you're bustling. Sometimes a lot of times people aren't in the same space. Everybody's so busy doing nothing.
Right.
And so now I feel like after hearing the article that you mentioned, Jackie mentioned an article that she's going to talk about, I have to open up my prospects. I was sticking to just Black men because I do love my Black men.
How could you not?
How could you not? Don't you all love the Black men?
Just absolutely gorgeous. And the way they respond to you when it's good.
Oh, did you see Gail talk about it?
Yes.
Gail, you were on point. That was true. It's just something of even just the baby, even just a little.
Just baby. I remember one time, just a little sidebar, I was out with this gentleman that when I told you I've been in love one time, it was with him. We were out and about. And you know me, when I get out and about, I'm friends with everybody. I don't know nobody there, but I'm friends with everybody. So I'm just, hey, how you doing? Where y'all come from? What y'all doing? And I'm just dancing. I'm having a good time. And then he called me to the side. He clearly saw something happening that I didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, when I move, you move. And I was like, okay,
Just like
cool.
that.
Just like that. And I was like, okay. And so I'm, mingling. And then all of a sudden I hear, Jackie. And I turn it on. And he just goes like this. And I just like, I gotta go. And I just felt like, oh my God.
Yes, like this is gonna age me, but we got to find the Whitley Gilbert.
Yes,
for it.
I love it when you take control, Daddy. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
So I love my Black men, but I feel like if I do not open up to other races, I don't know how long I'll be waiting, or if I'll be single. And then here you come with the article.
While I'm getting this article, I will tell you, before I went to Saipan, I was on an island called Saipan, and I had this older gentleman. He was a gay, older Black gentleman, and he used to tell me all the time, girl, if I wasn't gay. I'm like, but you are, though, so stop talking about it.
Right.
But we went to lunch before I went to Saipan, and he held my hand. He's like, I got to tell you something. You're not going to want to hear this, but I have to tell you. And I says, what's that? He says, if you don't marry a white man, you will never get married. Black men are never going to respond to you the way that you want them to respond to you. And I was like, if you don't get your ass on somewhere.
This is a Black gay man.
Black gay man. And I said, why would you say that? And he was like, well, because you are a lot. He's like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but he's like, you're friends with everybody, you're friendly, but you're militant. So it's a weird dynamic, And he says, and he goes, and you know exactly what you want. Not only do you know exactly what you want, you know exactly how to get there, and you can help somebody else get there. So technically, you don't have this need for another being. And he's like, and for this type of, because at this point, he's seen me date a couple guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, and the type of man that you like these alpha men. And he goes, but you're alpha-ish. He's like, I'm not going to say you're an alpha woman, because you definitely do. You're very domestic, very domesticated. Like, I'm a very traditional woman. And he goes, but there's still something about the fact that you don't need them, and the fact that you're okay by yourself. You're never going to find a Black man that's okay with that. I wouldn't say
I do get his point, but I don't. Well, I think it plays into the notion that men need to feel needed. And I don't know how much I agree or what percentage of that is valid. I do know everyone needs to feel needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And men more by nature.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, an alpha woman, it doesn't create that, is the notion. It doesn't create a man feeling needed. But if you guys were watching Love is Blind, I just finished watching Love is Blind season 6. One of the top couples on there, Black couple, who the country fell in love with, in the end, he did not marry the girl. Her name is AD. His name is Clay. And one of the challenges for him, even though he professed his love, and it did feel genuine from both of them, is that she was more of a housewife type, which I am. And he in the pod, because it's called Love is Blind, you don't see the person. In the pod, she presented to him as more of a go-getter, like you, like a woman like you. That is what's attractive to him. So when they got out of the pod and she was more, presented more housewife, and yeah, I got you, I'll take care of you, I'll cook for you, I'll do these things, I'll mentally, emotionally, that stuff didn't motivate him because he already has that.
Right, I can see that.
So he wanted a woman. What attracted him was her go-getterness. What he felt was her go-getterness that she didn't have when they got out.
Yeah.
So I get his point, but I feel like the Jay-Z's and the different people of the world, they do.
I don't know if we should use Jay-Z as an example. But let me just go ahead and get this. Let me just play y'all this clip from Instagram, because I found it fascinating, not only because of the statistics, which I did look up and I did see they're true, but because y'all just listen to the way that he says this stat at the end, because my man is sending up a flare. But y'all take a listen.
Statistic, white guys view Black women differently than Black guys. And these statistics don't lie. Interracial divorce rates. This is pretty interesting. A Black man and a white woman are 200% more likely to be divorced. An Asian man and a white woman are 59% more likely to be divorced. An Asian woman and a white man are 4% more likely to be divorced. But this is the crown of the study. A white man and a Black woman are 44% less likely to get divorced. Pretty interesting, isn't it? My sister.
I have thoughts on that.
What are your thoughts?
I'm trying to make them politically correct thoughts. Give me a second.
Please. For a
But
second.
I think that okay, how about I just do an anecdote? So there's this woman that I used to know when I was working in Brentwood as an assistant manager, and she's about 5'5", just tiny little thing. And then one day there was an issue in her apartment. I had to go in there. It was an emergency. And when I went in there, I was like, I can't go in here. I had to close the door immediately because, I'm kind of prude, right? Mm-hmm. And she had just dominatrix stuff like everywhere. And I was like, oh, God.
And I would have been like,
I know. I was like, somebody else need to come in here. I can't do it. So my other manager went in and she was like, girl, we got to call somebody else. Because she didn't want to do it either. So finally she comes down to the office and now I can't look her in the eye. And I'm like, hey, how are you? She's like, girl, let me tell you something. She's like, you are a Black woman. She's like, you would make a ton of money doing what I do because Black men or white men, like, especially.
Wait, so you think it's all a fetish?
No, it's not. I don't know if it's some of it is. I do know some, it might start like that, but love starts in weird ways sometimes. Mm-hmm. But she said white powerful men that have money, that are dominating in the business world, that got it all going on, they want to be in a situation where they're dominated at home. And I think whether it's subconscious or conscious, that's how they see us. Because we're always the angry Black woman. We're always the aggressive one. We're always this, that, and the third. So I think that's the starting point for how the attraction is. I'm not saying that's where it stays, but I do think that's the starting point.
The reason I understand what you're saying, how do I say this?
See, it's hard, right?
Back to this politically correct thing. Oh, man, I don't even know how to make this politically correct. When I see interracial couples a lot of time, the Black woman is the opposite of what you're saying right now. They present...
yeah, I'm not saying that she is. I'm saying in his mind, because the overarching perception of Black women, mm-hmm. whether it's right or wrong, or if that's who she is or not, the overarching perception is we're aggressive, yes. We dominate, we're angry, we act fool.
So it's like fitting the stereotype.
So regardless. Okay. And so then, yeah, maybe if he meets like that, half of that might be true with me. But, if he meets you and then it's like, oh my gosh, here's this woman who's nothing, then the love starts. But I don't think that's the initial starting point. I think the initial starting point is, ooh, I wonder, or ooh, let me see.
So you think that more than not? You don't think it's just some white men or white man?
I mean, unless you Eminem and you just grew up around us, I think there's certain, like, if you're a part of the culture, you're just part of the culture.
Right.
Full stop. Because some things are just cultural. So if you grew up in the cultural, no, then I'm not talking about you at all. But if you didn't grow up in the culture, if you're outside of the culture, it would be very hard for you to convince me that the starting point wasn't some type of fetish.
Well, that's depressing. As far as me thinking of opening up.
Okay, so, but I mean, like, I dated...
before being in LA. Probably before my last relationship. I think most of my relationships were interracial. Me dating Black men was conscious. Very conscious. I want a Black couple. I want to uplift a Black man because of what they're going through and because you all are sexy. But it became conscious as opposed to I'm just dating whoever approaches me, and if I'm into them, I'll date them no matter what. It became a conscious thing. But now I feel like I have to make the conscious thing too, because now I'll be single.
Yeah, I feel like I just got to go outside at this point. Like I don't, before I dated the last guy I dated, I had said, I'm good. I'm Gucci by myself. I enjoy myself. I got enough going on in here to occupy all of my mental space.
That's a lot.
I don't need y'all. But I just felt like
you do want it.
I absolutely want it. And so when I met, the last guy I dated, I was very open about that. And here's the crazy thing. And this is 100% the truth. He said, what are you looking for in a guy? And I said, I'm looking for someone who does not get on my nerves Full stop.
It's really simple right there.
I want somebody who's going to laugh. I want my abs to get tight because we laugh so much. I want us to dance with each other. I want us to go sing karaoke. I want, if you have a hard day, I'm the first person you think about calling. And I want to just hearing a voicemail from you and I'm having a bad day and I get a little butter. That's
See,
all.
that sounds so beautiful.
But it's impossible.
I don't know how you can say that. I was that person really not so long ago where I didn't need a guy. And I technically am still kind of that person. But when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, aw, guys are good.
Yeah.
They're nice to have around.
The ones that are. But the problem is, I don't get the ones that are. You know what I mean? Like even it's a difficult thing for me to process because my mom used to always tell me when you're dating, be careful because you're always going to get their representative. I don't have a representative. I don't send a representative. I should probably recruit one. Maybe it might help. Like if my representative meets his representative and then we slowly get to know each other. But I mean, like my ex is a prime example. He was like, I'm different. I'm not like that. I'm going to be this, that, and the
Red
third.
flag.
Yeah, just love bomb.
Wave it. So are you not thinking of opening up? You're thinking...
I think I've been thinking about that for a long time. And I've told this story for a long time. Like when I was on the island, I didn't take my only date black men ideology to the island. I took the whatever happens on the island stays on the island.
And I didn't support that. Well, I'm like, wait, it wasn't that. I was about to say I supported her dating outside of the race.
Yeah, because there wasn't really black people on the island for me to date. So, I mean, that just seems like, but I still wanted to have fun and enjoy my time there. So I ended up dating a Slovakian and
she went all the way.
I went all the way. And when I tell you that was the funnest, most loving, most honest relationship that I've ever had in my life. And I knew that when I was in it, but I remember flying back to the States and then it hit me like right because we stayed in Korea together for a little while before we came back, and that was just amazing because he went on to Slovakia to be with his family for a while before he went back to the island. And as far as like my natural hair journey, y'all wouldn't see that without Polly. He's the Slovakian. I feel okay about saying his name because he's a good man,
Yes.
Y'all wouldn't see that without him. He was the first person that was like, talk to me. What's your issue with your natural hair? At the time, I had lost a lot of my hair because I had stressed so bad about my dad passing away. This man went on the internet and learned about black hair in a way that I didn't know and helped me grow my hair out.
Paulie is actually a great example because, especially piggybacking off of what you just said, Paulie, am I correct that he almost only like black women?
No, I mean he's dated other women, but he's all apparently, according to his brother told me one day, I forget what me and Polly were talking about, and I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna be mad at me about this. He's like, maybe, but he ain't gonna care. He's always wanted to date a black woman. He said when he saw you, I just went, oh, well.
He's always wanted to date a black woman since he was a
child. Like apparently since he was like 6 years old. I don't know who. They told me too. I wish I could remember, but he saw a black woman on TV and he was like, oh, I'm gonna marry her.
He's not American, so he doesn't fit the domineering fetish.
I did say that if I do date a white guy, he can't be an American white guy.
Really?
Unless he's has gone because no. I was gonna try to explain that, but let me just stop. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't met an American white guy that I'm like, oh.
I've had great. It was when I was a little more naive too, but I had great relationships with American white guys. Really did. It was easier because they live a different life. I mean, just society-wise, they live a different life. They have a different level of freedom that they don't face, that we face and that our men face. So I recognize that that's where it comes from. It was easier, not a lot of communication issues or drama at all. Receiving love was easy, giving love was easy, the whole thing.
And I get that, and I think that's also this is gonna sound so
man
bad. I think that's also why my love still remains so much with black men, because I understand why it's easier.
Correct.
Your whole life has been easier. And so for a black man who is in the fight, because sometimes it is a day-to-day fight,
Mm-hmm.
I want him to know that he can come home and he doesn't have to explain the fight. He doesn't have to tell me all the systemic reasons why the fight exists.
Mm-hmm.
He can just be. He can just sometimes give me this look. Let me tell y'all this one story.
I wonder too about the reverse of that, because there's a higher percentage of black men dating not black women than it is black women dating not black men. I wonder, do they even talk about the same concern? Because we really care about them, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm saying we black women. What you're saying, I hear all the time
Mhm.
as far as black women. And I know that's not the narrative they paint for us, but I hear it all the time of us wanting to carry them in that way. But
I don't know,
like it's reciprocated.
but I will say this: when my dad, my dad is old school, y'all. So I remember him saying, like back in the days, like back in the 60s and 70s, like getting a white woman was considered a prize. Like, oh, you've made it now. You know what I mean? And so I just wonder how much of that, has trickled over. But for me, there's never just going to come a point. I remember I did a show with Dexter Henry. Dexter Henry is just my friend, an amazing sports journalist. And I was going through it. This is when stuff, if you've been following me on my social media, this drama that's unfolding with the Long Beach Post.
Mm-hmm.
And he had called me to talk about the WNBA on his show. And mentally I was just like, let me dial in, because I was mad, I was hurt, I was all these things, but I still had a job to do. So when I go on his show, he goes, Jackie Ray, how you doing? I go, I'm all right. And he goes, ooh, what's going on? Are they messing with you at the job? Like, he could just hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of because of what happened to me specifically, that,
Mm-hmm.
that, for him to instantly go into this whole monologue about where did they discriminate against you, what's going on, and then be able to share an experience that resonated with my experience. And this man is in New York, I'm in Long Beach. It made me feel so safe and so seen.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening with anybody else. And that's just from a friend, you know what I mean? So imagine coming home to that, feeling safe and feeling seen, and then cuddling.
Love does that in general. I'm thinking about not dating when I haven't dated a person that is black, a man that is black. Love does that.
Mm-hmm.
When it is not love, you get the other stuff. But love does that in general.
I agree. Like, there was a situation that I experienced on the island that probably was definitely there for me, but also too, some of that I had to explain to him why I felt a certain way. Which I'm not saying that if you love somebody, you shouldn't explain how you're feeling to them. You should always explain how you're feeling to them. But there is just a level of
someone just getting it,
just knowing. Mm-hmm. Especially when you had that fight all day, and just coming home and just being able to say, babe, and that's all you got to say. Mm-hmm. And they just know, and they can be there for you and love on you. That's a feeling that I just don't have words for.
Well, I'm on the fence now about the. It really is going to boil down to how much longer can I be single?
Oh,
I'm not on the market right now. I am busy, but in the summer,
I am on the market. Let me just go ahead and let you know right now. I am on the market. I do have some prerequisites. You can be shorter than
accepting applications.
Yes, I'm accepting applications. You can drop a DM at Jackie Ray TV. Do not be under, and I'm not one of those people that you got to be over 6 foot. But look, do not
ride this ride. What?
I'm 5'11", so I'm about 6'2" with heels on. If you got short, man, you could be 5'8". 5'8" is about as low as I'll go. But if you are intimidated when I wear heels, don't DM me.
Don't DM
me. Don't DM me.
Don't do it.
If you live at home with your mama, I respect that. For whatever reason, you might be taking care of her. I respect that. Don't DM me.
Don't do it.
I don't want no parts of it.
She doesn't want it.
If you don't have any kind of savings, not even a lot, but if you were to lose your job today, if you wouldn't be able to financially take care of yourself for at least 3 months, don't call me.
Don't do it. Looking for stability over here.
Whether you're,
I love that
the list keeps going. Whether she is here or gone, if you did not have an amazing relationship with your mom, and if you didn't have a good relationship with your mom, if you did not get therapy for that, don't DM me. Any daddy issues that you didn't get therapy for, don't DM me.
You heard it here, guys. She's on the market accepting applications, but you just heard all the don'ts.
If you don't like to have gut wrenching,
Are you gut wrenching? What?
Laugh fest.
I thought I didn't know where that was going.
Yeah,
guys.
see, we already talked about the waterfalls and the rapids.
I'm like, gut wrenching what? Like, what kind of show is this?
Yeah, I like to like laugh to the point where I can barely talk.
Yes.
Like I like to have laughing fests like that. Like if you don't like to come home and I got some salsa music going, and even if you can't salsa dance, we're gonna learn to salsa dance together. If you don't like to just be silly with each other in public and private and all the time, like,
and if you're not accepting of a possible third wheel, because I
most
still
definitely
be single, don't DM her. Okay,
because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you treat my friends weird, oh baby,
we're watching. So wait, open or not open?
I'm definitely open.
Okay.
I'm definitely open. I'm not gonna
open application.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that because at this point, I've just seen too many. I haven't seen it the other way too many times, but I've just seen too many success stories go the other way. And man, y'all, there's some fine ones out there. Shoot,
how open are we? Speaking of open,
I don't know till I know.
So, because there are a lot of different relationships happening right now.
Oh Lord Jesus.
We have interracial, we have intersexual. I just made that up. I do not know if that's a word. But
Sounded right. It sounded right.
Yeah. So like a bisexual guy.
Oh God, no, stop.
That was fast. You know why already? Have anyone ever asked you this? Have you considered this?
Somebody's asked me this before and I thought they were joking, so I laughed. Yeah.
So he's bisexual. And
and I laughed, which was.
Did you know he was bisexual or he informed you?
I knew he was bisexual. I didn't know he was interested in me.
Got it.
Okay. And so I laughed thinking he was joking. And then he wasn't joking. And I was like, oh, what part of... And this is what I said. And I feel bad now, but I meant it in the moment. And I still mean it. I just probably should have said it differently. I said, what part about me made you feel like that was a possibility? Because I need to work on that.
Was he stunned?
He was. And I was like,
that would imply what? So you think something's up with him, maybe?
No, I thought that maybe I was putting out some sort of energy that made him think that there was a shot at that, and I was like,
fluid in that way.
And I was like, I gotta fix that. Whatever that was, I gotta nick that in the butt. Pun intended, I guess.
Please refer to the last episode to understand why that is so funny.
Like, I don't want no parts of that. I really felt like I was, and I get it. Like, I'm a very friendly person, so
yes, maybe, and that's misinterpreted a lot by males.
Yes, it is. It is. So maybe that was it. I'm a very monogamous person, and he told me, he's like, just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean that I can't be monogamous. I'm right. And I said, that might be true, but there's no part of me that's ever going to feel like you have this sexual desire. Because look, I cannot provide that sexual desire. I need you to hear me. If that's the area that you want to be in,
you could.
I cannot.
There's a way.
I will not.
She will not is the correct answer.
There's no provisions I have for you.
Understood.
And so if I can't give those provisions to you, there's no part of me that's going to feel like you have this sexual desire that is
fulfilled fully.
I
could understand that because even I had a guy not bisexual. Because I feel the same as her. I would not want to date a bisexual male. Although I did have one approach me, Hunt.
Was he fine?
Fine, and he was everything. Sat next to me, was telling me how beautiful I was with all this bravado and voice and just appeal he had about him. I knew of him through other people, but had never met him. So when he walked away and I was sitting there feeling like Beyonce, then my friend kind of slid over and told me, that's the guy. And I'm like, you're kidding me. You are kidding me. But yep, that's the only time. But I would not be interested for the same reasons too. I've been asked to be in a polyamorous situation. That I was, and I laughed too. I thought it was a joke. I laughed so hard.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm trying to find the politically correct.
This show is going to be about us trying to find politically correct ways. We do not want to offend anyone. I want you all to know this. That is never, ever our intention. Sometimes not knowing things can make things come off very ignorant. And we understand that it's not our intention. Please give us a little grace.
Yes.
And teach us if that's the case. If we're saying something that's a little off.
Yes.
Nice.
But in that,
talk nice.
But in that, I feel how I feel.
Okay.
I can figure out a way to word it better in the future. But I meant what I said. Just help me word it better next time. But I thought, okay, so on Facebook, this gentleman reached out to me and he did a friend request. He was fine too. And I was like, yeah, accept. And then, but I'm not on Facebook very often,
right?
You know, so he had DM'd me a couple of times, but I didn't see it because I'm not on there. And then finally I went and I saw that he had DM'd me and a woman had DM'd me and invited me to this group. I don't remember what it was called, but it didn't immediately give, don't join that group. It, you know, it was like, oh, okay. You know, so I joined the group. He was in there. And basically the whole premise of this group is to really instill specifically, and this is what I thought was interesting, because I don't think being polyamorous is a cult. Well, I mean, I guess it's a culture within itself, but I don't think it's a black, white. I don't think it's a thing like that. I think that anybody can do it, right? But this group was specifically instilling in Black people that this is the way that our ancestors lived, and we need to go back to a polyamorous lifestyle because it's what's best, because there's too many, because, you know, Black women are the least married.
Always use this reason.
Yeah. We're the least married in this country, but they forget that there's education and money and all that. Yeah.
Help take care of the family and all of this. My children are adults, and the person was asking me, sir, they don't need anything. We're good. But I have a friend with some young kids, if you want.
Right. Yeah, but I remember being in that situation, and somebody DM'd me, and they said, like, how do you feel about the polyamorous lifestyle? And I was like, you know, if he's filthy rich and I'm getting a filthy rich allowance, I could probably do it, provided I wasn't obligated to be sexual with him all the time, because the chances that he satisfies me sexually are slim anyway.
Because how do you come up with these things?
Because life has proven to me
another topic
that it's highly unlikely. So y'all go take care of that. You know what I mean? Let me be the good auntie over here. Give me my money so I can go build my life over here.
You could possibly do that
as long as I didn't have to be sexually engaged. Like if I could be the good auntie, if I could take care of the kids.
Needs be met? It's sexually.
Well, that's my business.
Wait.
And this is the other thing that I said too. I was like, so what if I got to the financial point where I could do the same that y'all saying y'all can do for these women, right? Oh. Is it possible for me to have, because that's the other thing, like,
well, no, because I think part of the premise is also it's less men. It's less available men. So are you saying you take up a group of men and now but now you're making even less men
I see what you did. That makes sense. Never mind.
So yes.
So okay. Well then, I'm not in then. No. If I can't do unto others as being done unto me, I don't want the parts.
If you were doing this, I'm still trying to figure out, would you be seeing other men?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's how that works. Unless you're in a polyamorous open relationship, because on the outside looking in, it always looks like, to me, just the men have multiple women, but the women are monogamous to this one man.
Yeah, and it always looks like the women have to be subjected to things that they would not normally subject themselves to if they were in a relationship with one man. And I think that if you have to change your being so drastically to fit into a situation, you're not supposed to be in that situation. Okay,
so we're open racially. Interracial, yes. Intersexual,
no.
My new word.
And I love it. Don't get mad if I use it.
Okay.
And polyamorous is a no for me either.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a no, dog.
I'm also, and even though my last relationship kind of should have made me feel like this isn't a possibility, but I think it wasn't a possibility with him, I'm very open to a long distance relationship.
As am I.
And I think that would actually not bother me at all, because I am a homebody. I like to be by myself. So I'm definitely open to a long distance relationship.
Long distance with money has to be involved, and not for the materialistic what reasons, but for the being able to travel.
Yes.
I'm going to travel. So on both ends, money has to be involved on some level, whatever the level of our relationship is, to be able to travel as much as we need to.
And there has to be a plan, whether it's a year or 2 years down the line. 2 years is the longest I'll go.
That's how I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
There has to be a plan for us to be in the same place. And selfishly, that plan has to be you moving here, because I'm not, for what I do, it doesn't make sense for me to move to a smaller town.
I thought that in my relationship, but because of all of the adjustments in social media and AI and all of those, as long as it's somewhere I want to be and he wants to be, I became open. I almost left for the last person because I was like, this isn't going to work with us being separated. It was starting
as long as, okay, that's true. Let me change. As long as it's not cold.
Yes, I
would be okay with that.
I agree. I concur with that. I cannot do that. Just to go skiing and that's it.
But you can drive to skiing here. See?
Yeah, but you want to see more beautiful places. But that would be the only reason.
Okay, so we're open racially and distantly.
Are you open in an open relationship?
Hell nah. Okay, get out of here. I'm a Scorpio. Get out of here.
Back where we started. So just racially and
distance.
Okay. So I'll be back on the market this summer.
Okay.
And I'm going to have some fun. We're going to have to go out more.
Yes. That's the number one thing. Like, I stay in my work circle. I got my 1-2 bars that are walking distance to my house where it's the same locals. And then that's it. Like,
we have to do real deal activities.
100%.
Real deal activities, ladies.
Yes. Okay. And gentlemen, you can go too, because obviously we're trying to meet you.
Yes. Please come out. Please come out and play.
Oh, this was such a good show.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you guys for talking this out with us. We do appreciate it. And we hope, what is that?
That is my phone. You guys, what's happening is we are, in the middle of this whole thing at the Long Beach Post, and we still organizing. But
yes, support that. Follow Jackie on social media.
Yes. Follow me everywhere at Jackie Ray TV.
Follow me everywhere at Raiven French.
Yes, and be open to love, I guess, is what the moral of this show is. Yes. And make sure you join us next time, because we will always have to tell you, we gotta talk about this.
Told you so extra, but I know I'm the same.